After divorcing Cameron, I instantly became a financial burden in my parents' eyes once again. After 3 days of freeloading, my sister-in-law started berating the dog and scolding the chickens. On the second night after moving into the subsidized housing, I spotted a familiar car parked downstairs. Cameron, dressed in a black overcoat, was leaning against the car smoking. I pretended not to see him and kept walking with my head down. "Annabelle." He stubbed out his cigarette, his voice calm. "I was only away on a business trip for a month, and now I'm suddenly divorced. Don't you think you owe me an explanation?" In the third week of Cameron's business trip, I prepared the divorce agreement. My in-laws were both at home that day. I went downstairs and placed the agreement in front of them. Mr. and Mrs. Clements, Cameron and I were married for only 3 months, and we don't have any joint assets. Therefore, I don't want anything from the Clements family. My luggage is packed and ready to be inspected by you. The dowry and gifts the Clements family gave me, I've also sorted out and left upstairs. You can send someone to check it. I've signed the divorce agreement. Once Cameron returns and signs it, we can proceed with the process. Thank you both, and everyone in the Clements family, for your care during these past 3 months. I bowed slightly and said, "If there are no other arrangements, Mr. and Mrs. Clements, I'll take my leave now." "Annabelle, did Cameron do something to wrong you?" my father-in-law asked. My mother-in-law quickly tugged lightly at his sleeve. I pretended not to notice and replied, "No, Cameron is great, and the Clements family is wonderful. It's just because of me. Since you've made up your mind, we won't say more. Hurry and get the car ready. Make sure you send Annabelle back home properly." Mrs. Clements personally escorted me out. The Clements family's driver dropped me off at my house, where my mother and sister-in-law were chatting with neighbors at the entrance. Seeing the car arrive, they greeted me with broad smiles and welcomed me back. As soon as we entered, my sister-in-law called out for my brother to make me a nice cup of tea. Before the tea was even brewed, they found out that I had returned home penniless after getting divorced. The whole family's expression changed instantly. My sister-in-law turned and poured the tea she had brought into the trash bin. My mother stood up and went into the bedroom, slamming the door loudly. I felt a bit unwell and had planned to rest for a few days before going out to look for a job and a place to live. But starting the next day, my sister-in-law began berating the dog, scolding my niece, and smashing pots and pans. Eating freeloaders, I lay on the narrow single bed in my room, staring wide-eyed at the ceiling above me. Tears slowly welled up from the corners of my eyes, spreading across my pillow, leaving a damp patch. On the third day, I moved into the subsidized housing. Once I settled in, I started looking for a job. As a recent graduate with no work experience and an average academic record, I even had very few interview opportunities. When I got off the bus, I was completely exhausted. I bought a sandwich at the convenience store and prepared to head back to my rental. Just as I arrived downstairs, I saw a familiar car.